Alright YouTube, so in today's video we have something special. I'm going to show you exactly how to write groundbreaking, attention-grabbing, addictive headlines and leads so that you can grab your customers' attention and make them practically buy anything. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dylan. I go by DT. I've been a direct response copywriter and marketer for the last 5 years. I was previously the chief copywriter at Whop.com, which is a billion-dollar company, and I've generated well over 8 figures online. And this channel is to just teach you everything that I'm learning, testing, and I've learned copywriting and advertising. So let's jump straight into the video. All right, so let's start first off with what this is going to be. This is from one of the greatest copywriters on the planet and one of the greatest copywriting companies from the planet. This is written by Mark Ford or Michael Mashman, and Mark Ford is one of the founding members of Agora. Agora is a $1 billion direct response business, and they sell nothing but financial information and health information. And he basically broke down exactly how you can write your leads and your headlines so that you can always get people's attention and get them to convert. If you know anything about advertising, the great David Ogilvy said that 80 cents of every dollar you spend on advertising goes to the headline and lead. And so if your headline and lead is cooked, you're not going to make any money. If we jump into this, right, it's like 80% of the power goes into the 20% of your marketing, which is your headline and your lead. And this is the only part of your advertising that allows you to get and hook the reader emotionally. And as we all know, emotions sell more than logic. And so before we get into actually the leads and everything, you need to understand the 5 levels of awareness, which should be super simple. It goes from most aware, product aware, solution aware, problem aware, and unaware. And so these are people who have purchased from you, who are most aware. Product aware are people who knows about their product. They need a little bit more proof to actually purchase it. Solution aware is people who want the results, but they just don't know what's going to get them the results. Problem aware is people who feel the pain, but they don't actually know there's a solution out there. And unaware is people don't even understand or know that they have a problem. Think about a fat person who doesn't realize that they're actually fat and it's a problem that they're fat. And so depending on the awareness level of your market and like your ad, which is whatever you're doing, you're going to write a different lead for each one of these, right? And so just a rule of thumb, the more aware your prospect is, the more direct your lead and headline can be. And so, for example, if someone is solution or product aware, you can pretty much almost hit them with a offer lead, right? It can be very, very direct. Whereas someone who's completely unaware, you want to kind of hit them with the story leads. And we're going to get into this a bit later, but your ads need to match the lead and headline that you're sending people to. And so that's a very important thing because you're going to have a message, like a market message mismatch when people get there. But we'll talk about that in a second. So the indirect to direct lead spectrum, right? So you have the offer lead, which is just, hey, buy this for X amount of money. This is what I'm going to promise you. The problem, secret, pro. So these are all the lead and headline types. And so the direct one's simple, right? You're just showing them directly what the hell it is. And indirect is you talking about things that may not relate to the product, right? And so if we kind of just jump into the 6 types of leads and like when you should use them, this is going to give you pretty much everything you need to do this on your own and make sure that it's accurate. So offer lead. This is the best for when you are dealing with a most aware and semi-product aware audience, right? Because these people, they just want the money. They just want to know what it is they want to buy because they already want your product. And so usually people don't understand who they're advertising to. And this causes mismatched and low conversion rates. If I know that I'm retargeting customers who have purchased from me before or have taken a conversion action from on my site, then I don't need to like make a long form 30-minute VSL for them. That's stupid. No. Instead, I need to just hit them with the fucking offer. What is the product? What do you want? Like, and a discount most likely. So it's like, hey, why should I act now? Now, this comes a little bit from Ross Reeves, but this is for more of your product aware people, right? And so this is the promise lead. And the promise lead, you're going to simply promise these people a benefit, right? And usually this depends on like the sophistication, and that's a whole different video in itself. As you can see here, it's build your memory in 4 short weeks. You know, family won't believe it. Whatever headline you want to use, but you want to hit them with the promise because this will allow them to convert, right? It's the right message to the right person at the right time. But now the thing is, most money is not going to be made here. Most of your money is going to be made in these 3 awareness stages. And then if you ever want to break into a completely new market and make a fuck ton of money, you go here. And I want to spend more time talking about those on this video instead of the top two, because those are simple. It's like, hey, this is what the product does, and this is what you're going to get. But now, this is where we start making money, right? And so this is the problem solution lead. It's very simple. It's like you lead with the problem and you tell them the solution. So tired of XYZ, use a new thing to get results in time frame because of new mechanism, right? There's always a structure there's a structure to copy. It's not some magical wizard shit. It's a simplified structure when you actually understand it, right? And so you want to name the pain, right? Because things that are labeled are actually get paid attention to, and then you want to solve it, right? So it's like, it's an empathy bridge, right? So people feel the problem, right? There's a core emotion, and then the product fixes it. So it's like you feel their problem and you give them hope to fix their problem. And here you never want to lead with the product, right? You want to always lead with the problem. And this is the best for solution and problem aware. And what you'll begin to notice, especially when you start paying attention to your marketing, your advertising, is that problem and solution aware leads, these people are usually on a spectrum. And it's never like they're one or the other, because it's kind of like a spectrum. Because like, if you just name a problem, it's like, well, I'm looking for the solution now, right? And it's a very, you know, it's very subjective. So I kind of like put those into this, whenever I'm writing copy, I put those into the same kind of category because they're very similar in the way that you approach the marketing towards them. And so a key rule here is you want to find the point of maximum anxiety. And so what that means is there's an inflection point in every person's life and experiences when they're dealing with a problem that is like the maximum pain or anxiety, right? So for example, imagine if your ad account got banned. That's a very fucking big, anxious inducing problem, right? And so you're not going to chill on that. Like that's a big piece. And so when you call that out, any person who's dealing with that problem is going to instantly resonate with your messaging, and they need the fucking solution now, right? We don't want people that need it later. We need people that need it now. And so this is going to work for all three of these, right? Because people love secrets, especially for consumer. People are always looking for the secret method, the unknown way to do something. You just need to dress it up differently for the two sides. And so for consumer, you want to do more secrets and all that shit. Whereas B2B is like proprietary systems, like you want to use more technical certainty language, because that language resonates differently with a business owner. A business owner is purchasing for certainty to reduce and reverse risk. A consumer is purchasing for the excitement and emotion of the product and solving the problem. And so you have to be very conscious of those two things on how you're writing and like you're advertising to these people. In a nutshell, right? You want to tease with a big mystery, and you usually want to name it with a mechanism or some type of unique name to make it bigger than what it is. I forgot what advertiser said this, but it was one of the OGs of the direct response. He said, the closer you can make your offer to magic is how you'll make more money. And so if you think about the biggest offers, the offers to make the most money, they're very close to magic. You know, make money online is so big because you do nothing and you make a lot of money, and you live a life of freedom and you never have to work for anyone again. Or, you know, the best softwares are as close to magic as possible. Like everyone wants AI ad generation right now. Everyone wants to press 2 buttons. It generates 1 million fucking winner banger creatives on autopilot, and they make a fuck ton of money and they cash out and exit their business and are filthy rich. Hiding that mechanism behind a secret is how you get interest and buy-in. You know, you always want to kind of tease at this. And so the thing is with this is that you make your headline and leads align. And so the leads are like your first 500 to 1,000 words in whatever copy that you have. And so if you're writing a headline and you're writing a lead for the big secret, you will want to clearly label the secret in the headline, right? And then in the lead, you want to hint at it, but you don't want to reveal anything about it. You want to reveal all the things that it's accomplished. You want to reveal, you know, the results and the benefits of the lead, where instead of the actual lead, because that hooks them. And now that creates an open loop in a person's brain, and humans don't like open loops. And so people will consume things until they fucking get the loop closed. That's why Netflix and all these TV shows hook people. That's why at the end of every television show, that's a week-to-week show, they hook you and they don't give you closure, because that open loop stays in your mind, which makes you show up next week. You use the same principle in advertising, especially with long form selling. And so, you know, this works for, you know, the bottom 3 awareness levels. It can't work for all of them, but like the top 2 are just not really important, because we're not going to make that much money on the product in most of our people, because they're going to most likely fucking buy anyway. We need to convert the people who haven't converted. And so for an example headline is the Chafe royalty program that turned $1 into 50, right? This technique alone is responsible for 1 billion in sales. Whatever. It's just some type of secret lead, right? Then we have the proclamation lead. This lead is simply here just to boldly and aggressively grab attention, right? This is really good for unaware, not even say problem aware leads in people, because it's just here to just stop you in your fucking tracks. So for example, I could do a lead like, let's say for this video, right? You're going to go broke if you continue to run ads the same way you've been doing. So instead you need to do X, Y, Z, right? For example, a really crazy proclamation lead that I saw, the headline was, follow these 7 steps if you want to kill yourself early. And then it went on to just being a health VSL. But it's like those type of leads are going to grab attention. And then in like the hook of your VSL or the lead in your sales letter, you need to basically back those big claims. A really important thought model about this is that whenever you make a claim or a promise or a big promise, big claim, you have to back it with proof or no one's going to believe you. There's a formula, it's called promise, claim, proof. Every time you make a big claim, especially things like this, you need to make sure you back it with logical proof, scientific proof, article proof, authority proof, whatever proof you can in order to make them believe and want the outcome of your promise. And so, yeah, this is really big. It's really emotional. It doesn't even need to make sense. It just needs to be crazy and grab attention, right? This can work on the cold audiences. I do like this on problem aware as well, because you can just link the problem to it as well. So like you can see here in this example, read this or die, the headline that moved 170,000 orders, followed by 95% chance of dying from curable disease. There's so many different ways to do this, but I personally like this for unaware and problem aware headlines and leads. You can use it for almost all of them, but like those are the ones that's going to make the money. And now we go over into the most powerful of your headlines and leads, which is your story lead. So this is usually for your completely, abso-fucking-lutely unaware people and a little bit of problem aware. And again, all these awareness levels are not stagnant. They're like a spectrum. For our story lead, this is the most indirect, non-associated thing possible to your actual offer and actual business. And what you want to do is you want to kind of embed the hidden promise in the story. And the thing is, humans love stories. Your brain loves stories. You learn better through stories. The better you can tell a story, the more money you'll make. Period. Like the best VSLs, the best ads I've ever written were usually story ads. And what you want to do is you want to make the story align to the internal state and the problem that the person has. And you want them to just relate to it. You want empathy from them in whatever story that you're telling. You basically just be telling them the story of how they're going to solve the problem with your product. And going into storytelling, and that's a whole different video in itself. But this is one of the best fucking leads possible if you ever want to break into a new market. So let's just say you're in D2C or you're in SaaS, B2B SaaS, whatever, and you want to go down a new vertical. Let's say you were targeting, law firms, and now you want to target doctors. This can work. And, a story is really a great way to do it. You can dress it up with advertorials. You can dress it up with VSLs. You can dress it up with so many different ways to do this, but this is the most powerful thing. And the better you hide the sales process with a story, the easier it is for you to bypass sales resistance. The number one thing we want to do is bypass sales resistance. We don't want people to feel like they're being sold to. Now, again, the story lead can work for any level, but if you want to really grand slam it, that's when you go into unaware cold audiences. That's pretty much all the leads, right? You take this with how you want it. I'll instantly start doing this, start testing this systematically with your ads. And that means just all your ads should be targeting an awareness level, and then you should be testing different leads or hooks, headlines, same thing, with them. And then you should also be aligning that with your landing pages and your marketing message that's on the next page, because this is the 80-20 on how you make money, right? One hook, one headline swap that goes in a winning ad can literally 2 to 10x your results, right? So this is just your quick reference, just so you can, run with this whenever you need. Most aware, they know you, they want the deal, they already want your product. You just give them a fucking offer. Why? Because it's the maximum directness. Product aware, they know your product, they are on the fence, so you need to promise them a benefit. So, hey, this is what you're going to get when you actually choose us. And you can even do problem and solution leads as well. Then solution aware, they want the result. They really don't know you. So you can do the promise lead of what they're going to get for using your product, or you can do the problem solution lead, which is just, hey, you have this problem, this is the solution. Again, it's just all on a spectrum. And so it's very simple. Problem aware, feels the pain, no solution yet. Problem or the secret, right? Cool. And even story works here. Story can work for all 3 of these. And then complete unaware, you can do proclamation and story because it's the max indirectness. And that's really it. And so the pretty much 4-step way to make sure that you can always do this: know your audience, know your market, right? You should be testing the system actively with your ad spend, and you should just be paying attention to which ones are converting at the best, level, and understanding, how much money, what's the CAC, what's the LTV of those people, and just tracking that shit downstream. Use Hyros, use Commonly, use your own personal database, like I recommend with Supabase, just to have your own server-side data and source of truth so that you actually know what to target. And then when you're writing the ads, just pick the lead type and then do like 3 to 5 variants of the lead type for that ad in the hook. And then, choose one dominant emotion, whatever emotion that you want to sell with, and then rip it, right? And so just to leave you with this, right? The rule of one is very important when it comes to advertising, because everything that's been great in life, everything that's been built that's great, every big company, everything, it's built with one powerful idea. And so try to find your one thing that's going to make everything convert, and then you go from there with that. Yeah. So that's really it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's a really quick one, really straight to the point. If you want to see more videos like this, please leave a like and a comment of what you want to see more from me, and I will see you on the next one.